you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the great introduction. You know, as far back as I can remember, I wanted to be a rock star. I was going to be wildly successful at something. In fact, I see myself in you guys a lot. But as far back as the second grade, I knew I was going to be a rock star. And through elementary school and middle school and into high school, there were a couple of problems I ran into. I can't sing. I can't dance. I have 2 left feet. In fact, I told my parents at the age of 5 if they ever took me back to the Patsy Swayze School of Dance, I would run away from home. So I knew I was going to be a rock star. I was going to be successful at something. I just wasn't sure what. So I went off to Texas A&M. Thank you. I love that I can say that anywhere in the world. You Texas people, just put your little fingers down. So I managed to change my major and my living arrangements in College Station every few months while my parents tried to figure out exactly what it was I was doing at Texas A&M. Then a DJ from Bryan, Texas came to a party. He dared me to audition for the radio station. I did because I wanted a date. I never got a date, but for the next 22 years, I was a rock and roll DJ. What I discovered, though, being around some of the top rock stars in the world, the Rolling Stones, Kiss, Van Halen, ZZ Top, all of them. I hung out with them, I interviewed them, I was at their concerts, I was backstage. I started to notice that the leaders, the top rock stars, all practiced the same 4 principles that got them to where they were. We all go onto the same stage every day. When you get up in the morning, you walk onto the stage of life, you walk onto the stage of parenthood, you walk onto the stage of business, and each and every one of us has to decide every day when we walk on that stage, what are we going to do with that stage? I start with the first principle. The first corner of your stage, you've got to love what you're doing. Tap into other people's passions, but make sure you're doing what you really, really love. And I know a lot of you are well into a career. I don't care. It's never too late. If I had a banker walk up to me after this speech and say, he kind of looked around, he said, all I want to do is sing. I was like, well then, have you told your wife? You're going to have to get rid of the mini mansion and the BMW probably, but if that's what you want to do, do it. Passion gets you through the tedious task. If I never hear Stairway to Heaven or Freebird ever again in my entire life, I will be a happy little rock chick. I don't need to hear them. I played them 10,000 times, but every time I played them, I made you believe I was loving it. We go to the second corner of our stage, knowledge. Gene Simmons, the rock god, the bass player of Kiss, although he's become somewhat of a caricature of himself with Celebrity Apprentice and Family Jewels, he is actually a very brilliant man. And by the way, if you have kids and you ever get in that whole drug discussion, this man has never touched a drug in his life and he doesn't drink. And it's one of the largest rock bands in the world. Gene Simmons was asked by a group of VIP entrepreneurs in New York City last year, what's the one thing you would attribute your success to? And without hesitation, he said, it's because I read. I read everything I can get my hands on. Do your homework. I don't care who you are or what industry you're in. Find out where you're going, who you're meeting with, and find out a little bit about them. The third corner of your stage is networking. Relationships are everything. We called it schmoozing back then. I had no idea that's what I was doing. I was schmoozing with the rock stars. Would you rather do business with a perfect stranger or somebody you know, or somebody a friend recommended? You're going to do it with somebody you know or somebody that was recommended. And there's some very important parts to networking, but the first thing I want to point out, because it's so new, if you are not utilizing Twitter, Facebook, and or LinkedIn every single day, you will be left behind. One of the most important things about networking is finding out what people, who you are, what you do, what do you need, what can I do for you? And doing something for other people without expecting anything in return. It will come back to you. Second most important thing you got to remember in networking is listen. Just listen. Just be quiet and listen. You'd be amazed what you pick up. Now, some people would call that eavesdropping. It depends on where you are. The third most important thing about networking is let people know what you need. Even strangers want to see you succeed. I need a recommendation letter for college. I need an interview. I need a job. I need a contact. For the most part, people want to see you succeed. Even complete strangers love a happy ending. You don't see somebody running for mayor walking around going, no, hello, vote for me, hello, vote for me, hello, vote for me. You've got to tell people who you are and what it is you want and need. The fourth corner of your stage, equally important as all the others, the fourth rock star principle is appreciation. You must be gracious in everything you do, and that includes standing in line at the post office and driving on 610, okay? I learned from Billy Idol, only a face a mom can love. Actually, Charlie can do that with his lips. That's probably why I married him. He wouldn't do that. Billy Idol played Southern Star Amphitheater when we had Astroworld here in Houston. The theme park broke all attendance records. Management at Six Flags Astroworld were absolutely blown away. And that was when I learned that it doesn't matter who you are, you have to reward a job well done. They were so appreciative. They turned on all the rides and all the lights at Waterworld, gave Billy and his entourage bathing suits and towels, and said, thank you for a job well done. I will never forget the smell of wet hairspray and the eyeliner running. And of course, that was just on the men. You've got to give back to the community. And more than anything, if you only take one thing away from here today, other than a copy of my book, please take this, and that is, sometimes you just do something because it's the nice thing to do or it's the right thing to do. We have an awful lot of corporations and CEOs around this country who almost blew it for all of us because they weren't doing the right thing and they weren't doing the nice thing. By the way, I did send a copy of my book to Joel Osteen, and I inscribed it, Dear Joel, most of the stories in this book happened in your church. Loved it. I got a form letter back. So that's our stage. Again, we walk onto this stage every single day, and we have to choose what we're going to do with this stage. The first thing you're going to do is check to make sure that your corners are secure. These are the things you have to do every day in everything you do. You've got to love what you do. You've got to keep up with what's going on in the world around you, especially in the world today. You've got to get out there and form relationships with people. And you've got to say thank you each and every time. Promise me you will have fun and everything, because that is what rock stars do. Thank you.